Hey guys, thanks for checking out this Decentralized News Brief. Just a quick couple of stories for you, just to get things going. We're going to be on live later tonight, guys, at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 12 midnight UTC, and we're going to be getting into this story with a few of the other guys from the crew, and we're getting a lot more things from the news going. But real quick again, Saudi Arabia has been driving me nuts. I wanted to let everybody know that things are just getting a little weirder. And I'm getting a little pissy about Trump and Pompeo because they're expressing confidence that the Saudi government is going to investigate the disappearance of the suspected murdered Virginia-based Saudi journalist. They're going to investigate themselves. I will always come on and make a video about anybody who says something stupid like that. You know, they police their own. I don't think so. If they did it, and that's the point, then how is this going to work? Is it going to be the king going against his own son? I really doubt it. But, you know, this guy, he's been on the run. He's a dissident. He was in Saudi Arabia. He saw what it's like to live under a despotic monarchy. He saw what they were doing in places like Yemen and Libya and just about everywhere in the world, really, guys. Yeah, Saudi Arabia's got a lot of pull for being such a small place. Yeah, he tried to say something. You know, that didn't work out. He went on the run, and he went to Istanbul, Turkey. I'm sure he lived outside of Istanbul, but I don't know the society well enough to tell you all the intricacies of their civics, unfortunately. All I can tell you is that he really wasn't looking to get assassinated, and I think he was pretty much doing his best to hide, but he had divorced his wife. So, in order to live a life, he was having to go to the consulate because, you know, he was a citizen over there. He really screwed the pooch if he went and became a part of that. But I suppose in order to do his life goals, this is what happens. It's a really grisly story, though, because yeah, he wasn't there looking for protection. He wasn't. He just wanted to get remarried. He wanted to go on with his life. So he had his fiancée like waiting outside the consulate. I don't know that he had any other choice but to go there in person. And well, you know, they're saying they're having conversations about it. You know, he's Pompeo is the Secretary of State of the United States now, and you know, I'm trying to see his record on how things are going. As far as I can tell, he really hasn't done much, which is fine. There's no Arab Spring. It's a good thing to have our Secretary of State behind the scenes, actually, because if you remember how the last administration started, we had one that was a little too much into the spotlight. Was running around making a fool of us in places like Russia, well, everywhere she went. But I suppose that's a story for another day, I'll tell you. But they're trying to say they're going to investigate themselves. I really don't know. Like, you know, this is not tough Trump talking to North Korea and getting hostages released. This is bad news. You know, I mean, I don't know if this guy was from Virginia or based out of Virginia as far as what his work was, but it seems like we have a deep connection to this. And you know, he says he was an educated journalist. He covered a lot of stuff. He's been around since 1975 Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. He has seen a lot, and he befriended a lot of people, but I guess he said the wrong thing. And I suppose that's the whole point. You live with despots. You know, bad things happen. You know, but he went into self-imposed exile a year ago just to, you know, get away from this. I don't know what the hell he was doing except certifying that he was, you know, trying to get a knew he was divorced, he was trying to remarry, but this is what happened, man. He's in there, and then we have all sorts of stories from people in Turkey saying that he was only alive for 7 minutes. They took him, they drugged him, they slapped him in a chair and did awful torturous things to him. I won't go into the grisly details because, again, yet this to be determined. We're going to wait for the Saudis to investigate themselves, and I suppose Trump isn't going to make any waves. Very disappointing, but you know, what can you say? You know, Pompeo's claiming that they received commitments that they will have a complete investigation, and they're counting on him to do it. Pompeo said they gave him his word, and that's the end of that. And yeah, I don't know, guys. You tell me. But speaking of other bullshit, I really want to cover this story, man. I don't see a lot of people talking about it, and it's really frustrating because we have another problem in the Harvey Weinstein case. I don't know if you probably caught my last decentralized news where I brought up Harvey Weinstein, but this is really getting gross. So the district attorney now is, oh, look at this, the computer's messing all up. But point being is, Yeah, we have a story from, looks like NBC News playing. I'm going from Channel 4 New York, NBC's affiliate here. They're breaking the story. Manhattan District Attorney's Office told Harvey Weinstein's attorney that the lead detective in the mogul's assault case gave the victim the go-ahead to delete evidence off her phone because it might have made their case more difficult. Now, this apparently is true, and I really wouldn't put it past him, But this stinks of Mark Furman, you know. I don't know if you guys want to go far back as that, but this is such a flashback, and not in a very nice nostalgic way. But Detective Mark Furman was supposedly planting evidence and helping collect it in certain unscrupulous ways that you're definitely not allowed to if you want to get a conviction. And again, we're talking about O.J. Simpson's trial. The dude was guilty of sin, and this is what sucks when we have dirty cops. Even if, like I said, he's still a dirty cop if he was trying to get Harvey Weinstein put in prison under false circumstances. We don't need to do that. And as a matter of fact, it blew up in his face. It's Detective Nicholas Gigadio. Degadio. I'm sorry, my Mediterranean friends out there. Obviously, I'm not from the olive countries, but yeah, Degadio. I'll just say call him that. He said that they can delete one of the witnesses. Now we only have about 3 left at this point because the prosecution that Harvey Weinstein can afford is just bang, 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 taking all these one down one at a time. And he's getting passes left and right. But this is one you have to actually support because you can't make someone look more guilty than he is. You don't need to do that. You shouldn't do that. And it's blowing up. This is another person that's going to not be able to testify because, you can't rig the prosecution. You just can't do that. So they found out about it. It looks like they, saw the digital footprint. They questioned the woman. And now, even if her story was completely true, it's gone. You know what I mean? It's gone. So I wonder if it's supposedly going to be decided on December 20th, 2018, which is a few days. It's in a holiday season, guys. No one is going to want to hear about this. We're going to be talking about candy canes, Christmas trees, snowball fights. I know it depends on where you are, I suppose. But even if it's tamales and menudo, dude, you got better things to do than hang around talking about Harvey Weinstein on December 20th. So I'm going to keep you guys as much updated as I can. Looks like this is going bad in New York. I mean, I don't know. It's good for a bad person, I'll tell you that. It's very frustrating to see the detectives and the prosecution mishandle this Harvey Weinstein thing so much. They can't make any mistakes. It's obvious to me that he is going to be able to catch every flaw. He's going to hire more and more people. He'll go broke if he has to. Doesn't matter to a guy like him. This is his whole life. I don't think he's ever going to get the limelight. You know what I mean? He's going to ever get, photo ops with Oprah and Obama and all these other ridiculous left-wingers, But I could promise you that if he calls Johnny Depp and says we're going to have a $200,000 dinner in honor of, who knows, Joe Biden or whatever else, that's basically the same part of the cabal that has allowed all this perversion to happen, he's going to get those people to come. Even as long as he doesn't put his name on the marquee, he's going to be able to operate just like normal. And he's awful. He's an awful human being. If we're really going to have justice in this country, if we're going to hold truth to power, we have to go through and get everybody who's abusing their power. Not just people on the opposite tribe politically. This is sick too, because this guy, he's a complete horrible pervert. Let's just call it as it is. I'm allegedly, you know what I mean? All right, we'll get that so, we don't get sued. He's allegedly a disgusting pervert. How about that? He has admitted to having certain personality flaws, so I'm not too far off base with saying that. But beyond that, what I am saying is he makes movies for children and families, and I'm getting sick of it. I'm telling you guys, we have to bag people like this because I want to watch a nice movie with my kids. I want to be able to watch Jurassic Park without having gender-bending nonsense and the kind of ideology that breeds more people like Harvey Weinstein. It's complete horseshit, too, because these guys know that their lifestyle is not conducive to happiness. They're miserable assholes. They're weirdos, and they know it. I mean, even the billions of dollars they generate can't make them happy. Obviously, they're out hurting people for enjoyment. So they know they're sick. They need to get away from our media. I don't like being represented as an American by these sick weirdos. If you look into what's going on in places like China and other places, They're starting to come up with new slurs to make fun of us, guys. You know, and I don't even have anything to argue against except to say we're not all like that. But obviously, that's the defense against any of them. So that basically admits that some of us are losing our minds around here, and it's probably because of the mental poison that people like Harvey Weinstein put out. I don't know. I mean, you give me a better reason for the mass hysteria and nonsense, the breakdown of science and community. I don't know. I think it's you know, it. I meet a lot of people that the only sympathy they have is sympathy for the devil, you know, and I guess this is going to be what's happening. I don't have any sympathy for Harvey Weinstein. I don't feel bad. I feel like you know, the Democrats have already raised $1 billion for the midterm elections, and they're going to be using that for the 2020 elections too. And you know, it's people like him that are putting the money in their pockets. It's the people like him who make these awful messages. And, you know, my kids sit through them at the movies all the time. You know, I'm at the point where I can't even sit through them. So, like, it's hard. You know, it's like, do I go full Amish? You know, I think I have to shave the mustache. But other than that, I'm pretty much ready to go. But all kidding aside, I do hope you guys check us out. It's still the AM in the East Coast where I'm at. So it's going to be 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the Decentralized News Hour. I'm hoping we have Truth Force, No Chains. We have Wake Up ND and a few other guys from IW that are going to be hanging out. And we'll probably get a lot more opinions on these stories and a ton of other things that are going on today. So, you know, glad you hung out with me for a little bit. And I will see you later tonight, hopefully. Have